Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclarke.com.
Welcome to Peter and Roughie's Football Show, sponsored by Arnold Clarke. I'm Peter Martin, Alan Ruff, Tam McManus and Charlie Adam here with us on the show today. We'll read out some of your messages, we'll discuss the latest sporting stories, and of course we'll look ahead to the football not only tonight but at the weekend as well. You can hit the follow button on our Facebook and share the stream. We'd be delighted if you could do that for us. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget, hit the subscribe button and join the football family. Thank you very much to everyone for the figures we're getting right across social media. It's absolutely fantastic. More and more people tuning into the show and, of course, enjoying the crack and, of course, offering their own opinion on some of the issues that we've been discussing. So you'll no shortage of opinion here today. Roughie, we were talking about it yesterday. League One and League Two clubs are away to discuss. Potentially, it looks as if it's certainly how many games are left that they can play. That's one of the discussions from talks ongoing with the SFA. So what's your immediate reaction to that? What's the vibe that you get from them all now?
Well, the vibe is that we're getting a chance to play out the season, which I'm sure everybody wanted to do. I believe there was a Zoom meeting last night till about 11 o'clock at night with both divisions, and they all agreed. You know, I don't know where some of the papers got their stories this morning, but it was nothing that was going on in that meeting that finished so late last night. But I think the clubs are away now, you know, to look at the scenarios of there is obviously lots of categories that you've got to go down, whether it's 27 games, 22 games, 18 games. The bottom line is all the teams want to play, and I think that's the most important thing. There is going to be a lot of complications now, Peter. You know, if it goes down to 18, you know, who do you play? When do you play them? You know, and it's. I think there'll be still some things that have to be really, really ironed out. But it's up to the SFA to get a fixture list out as quick as possible, so all the clubs and players know where they stand.
Yeah, I mean, that's the key issue here, Tam. A lot of these clubs want to get back playing, want to get some football in before the end of the season. There is obviously the double whammy that I think off the back of this, Tam, which is quite simply the SFA are keen to get the Scottish Cup going as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think the Scottish Cup coming back is great for everyone. I think for the smaller clubs as well, but it's going to be difficult. I think when teams have not been playing, you know, teams have not been training together. I think it'd be very difficult to see any shocks out with the top two divisions. They've been playing every week, so I think that'll be tough. But as Roughie said, if all the teams want to come back and play, then let's get it done. I'm sure the SFA can rustle up a fixture list. And the list, I don't think everybody's going to be pleased if the games get cut down. You know, maybe they've had harder fixtures than others, but at the end of the day, just got to get on with it and try and get the leagues finished, because we want the leagues finished to the end. You know, you don't want people moaning about relegations and leagues being void. You know, you want all the divisions done, and you want the Scottish Cup completed, and then we can hopefully next season look ahead with a bit more certainty when people get vaccinated. So I'm hoping that everything gets settled.
Yeah, and with that in mind, off the back of this, Charlie, the Scottish Cup dates have been revealed. So this gives us a clear indication of how they want this to play out. So 23rd of March, that's the Tuesday, second round ties finished, done and dusted. Third round ties the 3rd of April. Fourth round the 17th of April. Fifth round is the 24th. And then the semi-finals 8th and 9th of May, with the final on the 22nd of May with, who knows, will it be with fans inside Hampden? That's a long shot, to be honest with you, but nevertheless you can see their intent to get this tournament played to a finish.
I think that's the most progressing thing, that everybody in the both leagues, League 1 and 2, they want to play. That's half the battle. At least some chairmen are not saying, well, we're not sure, we don't want to. At least everybody's in the same boat, that they all want to play, they all want to finish it, and it's now, can we make a decision how many games are going to be played, and and when the season will finish. But like you say, the SFA will be looking at that Scottish Cup thinking we need to get that finished. So, I would just get a text there from our manager just saying that we'll play St Johnstone on the 3rd of April. It's good for us. It's a big challenge against League Cup winners, and it's one we're looking forward to. So it's good that these part-time clubs, obviously Roughie and Falkirk and Queen's Park, full-time teams, they're getting the opportunity now to finish the season, and they could see the end of the road really, and just hope that we can get it up and running. It's just the big issue will be, injuries or, getting lads back fit quick as possible to get playing games. And I just hope that they can get going and we can see an end result.
Yeah, I just wonder though, Roughie, about the overall financial aspect of this, because obviously the furlough scheme is going to continue to September for various businesses, but with this League One and League Two teams, there's a commitment to fork out about 30,000 to test before the games. There's travel costs involved. There's of course bringing players back off furlough as well. I mean, it's a hefty commitment.
It is a hefty commitment. I think that's why they're glad they got that 150,000. That 150,000, I'm sure, will be into with the costs that go along. And it is going to be harder for the part-time clubs. It is going to be harder if they're playing Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, and some of the guys are working like 9 to 5 and then travelling quite far, wherever it is, Elgin or whatever. So for the part-time clubs, it's a big ask for them. The full-time clubs, I think it'll be a wee bit easier. Obviously you've got the players day to day, and you can manage it that way. But no, I think this 150,000 will be eaten into very, very quickly. I think that was one of the stipulations when everybody got that money, that's what it was to be used for. It wasn't to be used for like buying players or whatever. It had to be used for things like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we'll find out if they get to a definitive figure on how many league games that they will be able to play between now and the end of the season after their discussions. But over and above that, Charlie, you'll be happy to know that so many people actually wished you the very best and wanted you back fully fit from your COVID. How's it been? How have you been feeling with it? I mean, a lot of people think, they've never met anybody who's had COVID, but I've encountered more than a few people. Roughie had it. Now you've had it.
Yeah, no, it's I'm in a better place. That's why I'm sat here. But I've been watching the show and that, so it's been nice to get a few nice comments and people asking how you are. So it's good. But the show must go on, and the lads managed to get a good result last night. Got us back into the playoff position, and we'll look to build on that against a good Hearts team on Saturday at Tynecastle. Toughest game of the season, and we'll have to try and go there and play extremely well because they gave us a right scene to the last time we were there. So no, it's good to see the lads manage to keep going, and that's an important bit as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're back in the mix. I don't know about you, but I thought you'd have been right on their tail. You've let a few points slip away that I thought were, bankers for Dundee to get the win. And suddenly, and the other reason why I thought Dundee would be in the mix, Charlie, is because Anne Budge has come out and said that Robbie Nielsen's job is safe because there's been a growing unrest about, the way the team's playing based on the money and the players he's signed. Yeah,
listen, they've probably not played to the levels that they're capable of, but they've done enough. Everybody else has been inconsistent. We've not played at the levels that we have. We have in spurts and spells in the season. We had a good period of 8 games. The start of the season, we never started the season well. Then we had a period where we done well, and then we lost back-to-back games. So inconsistency for us, it's probably cost us to being closer. But if we can go there Saturday and win, and then we can win our games in hand, we are 6 points off them. We do need a bit of a miracle to catch them, but you never know in football. It's possible, but the way Hearts, the fans and the club expect is that they dominate every game and they should be winning 4 or 5-0 with the players that they've got. That's not the case. There's tough games. It doesn't matter if you're playing Alloa or you're playing Inverness or you're playing Dundee. Every game is tough in this league, and I found out myself. So, whatever Robbie has to do to get over the line, and that's the most important thing and objective for them at the start of the season would be to get promoted by hook or crook. Doesn't matter how they do it. And I seen Anne coming out and saying, listen, there would be bumps in the road. There is. But it was a 3-year period where they have to get up now, look forward to next season, and then the following season after that, then they have to be in a position where, they're challenging that top 3 and 4 places in the league. So they're on course for that. But, as long as there's games to be played, we've got to try and win them.
Yeah, he's only been there 8 months, Tam. Are you surprised Anne Budge has come out with the vote of confidence so early?
A little bit, Peter, but listen, we've seen them the last 3 Fridays and they've been really poor. I feel the performances they're putting in, and I think the fans have got every right. Listen, they supporters at Hearts in particular put in a lot of money. The foundation of Hearts putting a lot of money every month, and and they're spending big on players. They've got a big budget, so they want to see what their money's, they're getting the money's worth, and I don't think they have in terms of performances. But Charlie's right. Listen, the main thing for Hearts is just winning the league. But I'm sure the Hearts supporters want to see better performances, individually and collectively as a team. I don't think they've been good enough in certain games, but they're still miles ahead in the league, and I think that says a lot. For the inconsistencies and the quality of the teams behind them. I think the Hearts have just got that extra quality, as they should, with the money they've got in the budget, the advantage they've got over the rest of the teams.
Just staying with the Championship, some news coming in. The Championship match between Raith Rovers and Dunfermline at Starks Park, that's been postponed after Dunfermline informed the SPFL they couldn't fulfil the fixture. Now, this is because they've had a confirmed case of COVID-19. They've informed the SPFL of this. And following conclusion of that process, and due to the number of players now self-isolating, they have insufficient players to fulfil the fixture. So, yet again, Dunfermline at the forefront of games being cancelled, a result and in line with the standard procedure. It goes on to say the SPFL have postponed this fixture pending an investigation into the circumstances leading to the postponement. So they'll look at the safety measures that were in place, and if it all checks out, then I don't think there'll be any further punishment other than they have to play that game a little later on. Let's switch our attention to Livingston against Rangers. Just on this one, Roughie, Steven Gerrard has hit back at some of the critics suggesting the club have treated the players differently who were caught at that party to the punishment to Jordan Jones and George Edmondson. Now, basically, Steven Gerrard says the players have all been given the same fines and suspensions. The only thing we haven't heard, Roughie, is any punishment from the SFA.
I think that'll come. It has to come. They have to be shown a procedure not to favour anybody at all. And they will sit on it. They usually do. They don't usually come out right away. There'll be a meeting somewhere down the line, and I would expect them to get the exact same punishment as the other two Rangers players. I don't see how they could give them anything else, and that would make a lot of people angry. I think everybody's come to the assumption that they haven't been treated equally because the other two were shown the door. But, Steven Gerrard has obviously said that the two boys wanted to go out on loan, so you have to treat that with a pinch of salt. But that's how people are coming to the conclusions that they haven't been treated the same, that the four are still there and the other two are away. Because he's right, he's fined them. And they will be suspended, and we'll just have to wait and see where it goes for there.
Yeah, you would expect a similar punishment, though, Charlie.
Yeah, but the thing is, Peter, we don't know the full facts of the incident. I understand there was a party, but there is other things going on in the background that that we are probably not privy to. And we'll have to wait and see what that investigation comes round. But the lads have been punished, and from the football club, and they can go as far as they want, as in 2 weeks' wages or whatever it was, and that is it. And the lads come back, and Nathan Patterson scores the other night in Europe. Probably will play tonight against Livingston, and it's that's the punishment. The only issue will be is we're waiting on, like Roughie said, we're waiting on the SFA to come back with something, and then we can move on from it. But I think the club will have moved on from it, and these lads have learned by their mistakes, and they'll look to try and wrap this title up in the next week.
Yeah, 7 points needed for Rangers to wrap it all up. No Tavernier, Jack, Roof and Balogun in tonight's game against Livingston, but it looks as if they still, you would think, Tam, have enough in reserve.
Yeah, definitely. I think Rangers are going to win the game. I think that obviously watched Livingston in the weekend there. I think the cup final, and it's particularly getting beat, it drains you, physically, mentally. The boys, I think they'll be down this week. It's up to the manager. They've obviously got a game kind of relatively quickly, so it's up to the manager to try and lift the spirits again. But very difficult to get that out of your head immediately, losing such a massive opportunity to win a trophy for the guys. So I would expect Rangers, I know they've a few players missing, but I would expect Rangers to go there tonight, be professional, get the job done, and go on our 3 points towards the title. So I'll go for 2-0 to Rangers.
Oh, 2-0 to Rangers. Roughie, did you go for 2-0 to Rangers?
Yeah, I went 2-0 as well, yesterday.
Yeah, I've gone 3-1. Charlie, where are you going?
I'll go 3-0.
Okay. Of course, Livingston will want to bounce back from the League Cup defeat, but Steven Gerrard is well aware of what the opposition will offer.
I think the last game we played against a low block that didn't have any ambition to come anywhere near our goal. And that was a challenge for us, and we didn't have enough quality to break that down. But having analysed Livingston in terms of the last 10-15 games that Davies led, they're certainly more front foot, they're pressing higher, they're more aggressive, and they're creating more. So we see this as maybe a slightly different challenge than one we faced previously, but it's one we need to be ready for. We'll have to compete.
Yeah, Tam, interestingly enough, David Martindale, I think initially yesterday when he was looking ahead to the game, mentioned he reckons 3 more points and their top 6 place will be secured.
Yeah, I think they're 5 points ahead of 7th. So I think, listen, a couple of points should be enough. But they've got a couple of difficult games coming up. They've obviously got Rangers tonight, and I think they're away to Motherwell at the weekend. So Livingston will be looking just to get in that top 6 as quick as possible. They've had a great season up until now. They don't want to blow it late on by losing points. But I think they'll be fine. I think them and St Mirren will be in. Dundee United will need to produce something special, and other results will need to go for them to get in. But I think that Livingston and St Mirren, that will be a top 6. Yeah,
here's the Livingston boss, David Martindale, on the possibility that Livy could be the first team to beat Rangers this season.
Tomorrow night's an opportunity to pick up 3 points, but it's obviously it's an opportunity to try and take 3 points off Rangers. It's an opportunity to be the first club in Scotland that's beat them in the league this year. So there's a lot of carrots attached to tomorrow night, and I've tried to re-emphasise that to the players, that this is a cup final, this is another cup final.
Yep. Well, we've all given our prediction on what we think will happen in that game. I'm delighted that you're able to be with us today, Charlie, because Tam on Monday really opened up a can of worms with a little observation that we were talking about. I was talking about Rangers with desire to get to the latter stages of the UEFA Cup, or the Europa League as it's so known now. And Tam said that he would choose this current Rangers side.
Yeah, I was listening.
Over the 2008 UEFA Cup side. Now I know you would have been involved, Charlie, had you not picked up an injury. But here's the 2008 side. Yeah, here's the 2008 side, Roughie. Alexander, Broadfoot, Weir, Queller and Papic, Ferguson, Himdani, Thompson, Whittaker, Davis and Darshville. As far as the 2021 team, Charlie, here's the Rangers team of 2021. The strongest, we think: McGregor, Tavernier, Goldson, Helander, Barisic, Jack, Davis, Kamara, Aribo, Kent and Morelos. Tam would take that side over your old team. What do you make of that comment?
Listen, I think both teams are good. I could see why. I could see at the moment that team is, this Rangers team now is, dynamic, fast flowing, different types of ability. Your Kents, Aribo, ball carriers. They've got, I think this, we've obviously different experienced players in our team. Hamdani and David Weir, Barry Ferguson, people like that. So listen, it's tough, but until you get there, you can't really match these teams. And if this Rangers team gets there, then I would probably edge it over that one.
Yeah, it's funny you saying that because Darren Barnes just said the 2008 team would smash this current team. Tam thinks differently. Roughie, are you going to say something there?
I thought Tam was out of order, saying the bench was a lot stronger now than it was then as well. I don't know why he had to throw that in. I'm back out of order.
Charlie was watching. He's not going to take the
Tell you what. I wouldn't mind sitting on this Rangers bench now.
Yeah. You feel confident of getting on?
I would feel at least getting 10-15 minutes here and there. Do you know what I mean? When Davo needs a rest.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That'll get back to him. Anyway, apart from anything else, Tam, you're standing by your decision.
Yeah, Peter, I think they're two totally different teams. I think the Rangers team of 2000, back then it was a team that was set up to not to concede. To sit in low block, and defend and maybe hitting a counter attack. Wee Nacho Novo wasn't there, but he was obviously instrumental in that. Hitting in a counter attack with his pace, big Whittaker. Strong runners, getting up and supporting the striker. But for me, this is a much more enjoyable team to watch. For me, that this team under Steven Gerrard, because it's expansive. He wants to go and win games. He wants to take the game, play in the front foot and going at teams. and he's got belief in his players that they're better than the teams that have come up against. And I don't think that team under Walter did, but they still get the results. And Charlie's said the same as well. If this Rangers team gets to the final, then I think they would definitely be a better side, but they're still to prove it. They're still to get to the final. So until they do that, then the jury's out.
Okay, thanks to everyone for the predictions on this one. Mackenzie's just said 5-0 to Rangers away at Livingston. So Mackenzie clearly feels as if Rangers are going to run right in this match. It's all about opinions. You can give us yours. We'd love to hear from you on some of the burning topics of today. Hamilton against St Johnstone. St Johnstone still 6 points off the top 6. 3 wins in the last 5 games. They're flying, Roughie. The cup's in the bag. Everybody's getting their photograph taken with it. There's never been a better time to be a St Johnstone fan.
Still, and I'm sure Hamilton will realise that tonight. As Tam was saying, I think Livy will find it hard to lift themselves up. You won't have that problem with St Johnstone. I know the boys would maybe have a quiet beer in the house or whatever, but nowhere near the celebrations it would have been, if it was normal circumstances. So Hamilton won't have that advantage. I just think Hamilton at home tonight, have got something to play for. I know they're 2 or 3 players down, but I'm going to stick with them. I'm going to stick with them to pick up a point. I'm going to go 1 each. I think every point now is crucial as we get near the serious end of this situation. So I'm going to go Hamilton to get a 1 each draw.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that we always talk about in this programme is momentum. And when you get such a confidence-boosting win, I mean, Jason Kerr reckons that the win at the weekend, the momentum's building, it could just catapult them all the way to the top 6.
I feel like we've got a lot of momentum right now, especially in the last 2 months. I felt like we've played really well against really top teams, and we've got a lot of points in the past few games. So yeah, I feel like we're playing really well. We've got a good squad and we're playing good football as well. So yeah, hopefully the momentum takes us and we go win the next 3 league games and give us a good chance of getting into this top 6.
Yep, Niall says 2-1 to St Johnstone. I'm with Niall on this. I think I said yesterday, Roughie, St Johnstone to win at 2-1. Tam, what's your thoughts?
Oh, difficult one to call this, to be honest. I've been thinking about it for a while. I think that St Johnstone, obviously, as Roughie said, I don't think they've been bloated. Obviously, like a midweek game, which is a killer for the players, probably. So they've had a few beers on Sunday after the game. I'm thinking maybe 7, 8 beers. Maybe. I'm going to go for St John. I'm going to go for a St Johnstone win. I think if it was 12 or 13 beers, I'd tipple towards the draw, but I'm going to go for St Johnstone 2-1.
Yeah, 2-1, sticking with me on that. Roughie clearly doesn't want me to get any points on him, by the way. He's being triple wide, the boy from East Kilbride. Anyway, apart from anything else, that's Hamilton. I meant to ask you, Charlie, how's Jason Cummings settling in? Has he been a breath of fresh air in the dressing room?
3 and 3, isn't he? He's been on fire, scored a few goals. He's been brilliant. Great character into the dressing room. Just, be himself and, what he's come for us to score goals, and he's done that. And even Paul McMullen as well has come in 4 assists in 4 games. So it's good to get them up to speed and get them playing. And let's say they're the lads that will carry you to for now season, getting results and wherever it will take us, if it's into the playoffs or straight up automatic. Listen, it's going to be tough to catch Hearts, but that second place is crucial, because then it allows you an extra week preparation for the playoffs. So it's we have to try and focus on winning every game now to end the season. So the lads have come in and they've done well. So hopefully that can continue.
Okay, we're going to hear from the Scotland manager, Steve Clarke, shortly as well. He's been linked with a vacant job at Celtic. One bit of news coming out of Celtic is, Roughie, that Connor Hazard has signed a new deal till 2023. Reward for the cup performance, or indeed just securing an asset that hopefully they think will get better?
Yeah, I think anybody that's seen him playing, he's got a bit of a presence about him. I still think he's got a year or 2 to learn, but getting thrown into the first team won't hinder him at all. We had him for half a season and he looked good. Charlie has had him up at Dundee as well. So he's had a wee bit of experience behind him, but what he's done at Celtic, and I know he had maybe a couple of wee iffy games here and then, but he certainly looks definitely like one for the future, so I can see why they would put him on that kind of contract.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't forget, if you are in the afternoon, you're feeling a little bit thirsty, just have a Tia Maria and Coke. It's always good. It just helps you along the way. Just gives you that little bit of refreshment to kick on for the second
I thought it was
part
going
of
to
the
zoom into
show.
Roughie.
Yeah,
I get caught there.
yeah,
Who's the
absolutely. Of
cameraman?
course, once you buy a fridge, you'll be able to put ice in it as well, the way Roughie does. As far as the Celtic link with Steve Clarke has come out to say that basically he wants to not only manage Scotland for the Euros, but he's got ambitions of taking them to Qatar in the World Cup.
I've got a contract with the Scottish FA up until December 2022, and hopefully I can take the team to the World Cup finals in Qatar 2022 as well. That would be great. And then maybe I can think about club football. When you've been in football as long as me, you tend not to think too far ahead. So I look forward to the games in March, and if we can win all of them, we can concentrate on the Euros after that, and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think there was some kids asking him questions, Charlie, and he was kind of a ducking and diving when one of them who dare I suggest it, Charlie, had been nobbled to ask the question.
Is that your nephew? Your nephew, Peter?
Nevertheless, you've got to get the answer out of him. But he ducked and dived on it, Charlie.
Oh, he backtracked, didn't he? Didn't even want to get anywhere near it. Listen, he's done the first part of the job, and that's getting the lads to the Euro. He's done that, and I'll just, if he can do it, have a good Euros. I think he will be in consideration for the Celtic job because of what he's done as a manager in England, but also up at Kilmarnock. You know, he's got the experience of being at big clubs, so they'll definitely be looking at him. But you know, the position of probably Dermot is he'll be doing it right, and he'll wait until this is over with, and then he'll make the decisions. But it would be very difficult to see Steve turn down the Celtic job if it did come around.
Yeah, money talks. It's a strange little situation. It's not the first time a Scotland manager has decided that the bigger job was Rangers or Celtic, Tam.
Yep, Alan McLeish's done it, obviously, we know that. Walter Smith. So I think that if Stevie Clarke gets offered the Celtic job, I think he would take it. Obviously, I don't think he's going to take it now. I think he's got a real job to do in the Euros, but if Scotland can go and do well in the Euros, and I think his stock would be up, I think Celtic could do worse than go for Stevie Clarke, to be honest. I think he ticks a lot of boxes in terms of Scottish football and his experience here, so I don't think Celtic fans would be too disappointed if it was him.
Yep. Big hi to Jim Dolan, who says, sorry, I've just joined the programme late. You've missed it. It's been unbelievable, Jim. There's been unbelievably explosive comments coming throughout it. And good to see that Charlie's with us, Jim, but good to see you're on as well. And over and above the situation with Celtic, Steve Clarke was also talking about the fact that between now and the end of the season, however many games each club has remaining, there's still a chance for individual players to stake a claim.
I think the players who did the hard work and got us qualified deserve first chance. Well, listen, before we get to the Euros, we've got 3 games in March, so there might be 1 or 2 surprises in that squad because I need to pick a bigger squad because we have 3 games in a week. So it's a very short period of time, and maybe 1 or 2 in that squad might force their way into my plans for the summer.
Are there any that are screaming out at you, Roughie?
To be honest, Peter, not at this precise moment in time. I think he will stand by the boys that come in, the Considines and the likes. I hope he's got a striker in mind. I hope he's identified somebody that we're not readily talking about, because for me that's the big position. I think now we've got not a definite back 4 or back 3 sorted out. Now I think McTominay will move into midfield. I think we've seen what he's done at Man United. So it's a striker one for me. I really hope there is somebody out there. Maybe it's down in England. We're not seeing them day to day. But no, I think it'll be. I know there's 22 in the squad, so that he's talking about 28 for the Euros. So 6 places to fill. So I'm sure there will be some out there, but there's no big one. We're talking about Billy Gilmour before, and he's not really been getting games just now. But somebody like that, But apart from that, I can't think of anybody off the top of my head.
Yeah, do you think? And I'm not for a minute suggesting that this is at the forefront of his mind, Tam. But do you think maybe a Ryan Gauld could, maybe sway his attention?
Yeah, that was one I was thinking about there when you were mentioning it. I think Ryan Gall's been excellent. Is it Firenze? He's playing over in Portugal. I think he's done really well for him. He's a captain. He's playing every week. He's playing really well. So I think he'd give you a little bit extra, maybe in that 10 role, sitting playing behind a striker. So I think he's definitely worth a look for the next squads. I think that Gilmore's worth a look. And what about the big boy Rooney at St Johnstone? Now, obviously, I think he's a long shot to get into the squad, but I think maybe have a wee look at him. I don't think we're blessed at right wing back. Steven O'Donnell's the only one I can really think of off the top of my head. So, and I think he can play at centre back as well. So maybe the big boy Rooney at St Johnstone's worth a look. Chris Cadden at Hibs has been playing well. So I think guys doing that right hand side, that right wing back, is maybe an area where you could maybe look to try and have a look at one or two other players.
Yeah, no mention of your lover boy on the programme today.
Yeah,
You're right.
I missed that there.
Something happened. Roughie and I are worried about you.
Yeah.
Kevin's out. He's not playing for Hibs now, so you can't expect him to get in the Scotland squad if he's not playing. But if he gets back into the team and they're scoring goals again, then he'll get back into the mix. But no, he's not really been at it since he's handed the transfer request in. He's not been in the team, so he's got to get himself back in, scoring goals again. Then I'll be back in love with him. But a wee bit of a tiff for him. He's not in the team.
Yeah. Do you think that's destabilised him, Tam? That whole "I want away."
Yeah, I think it has, Peter. I think he made a mistake with putting the transfer request in. We try to force Hibs' hands, and he's found himself out of the team. And Hibs have been playing well. They've been on a great run up until Saturday when they get beat off in Motherwell. So I think he'll come back into the team against St Johnstone. I think Christian Doidge will drop out, and I think Kevin will come back in. It's up to Kevin now, without the end of the season, to get himself back into the team, scoring goals again if he wants to try and get a move in the summer. So yeah, I think it's affected him a little bit, but it's not really. Hibs have been playing well without him in the team, so it's been hard to get him back into it.
Yeah, Charlie, is there a player that we haven't mentioned that you're thinking?
I'm going for Nathan. I think Nathan Patterson could get in there. I think he'll get an opportunity now in the Rangers team, and I think he could be the one that could be a surprise to get into the squad. I think he's a good young right back. If he, with the potential and what I hear coming out of the club and how he works and things like that, I think he could be a surprise. But also, I think there's the lad Ryan Fredericks at West Ham has got some sort of Scottish background, I'm hearing, as well. So that might be an interesting one to see what comes up in the next squads as well.
Who's the striker for Southampton? Who is it? Southampton or Sheffield United? Is it? Oh,
which one?
Scottish.
Ollie McBurney.
Shea
Adams. Yeah, he can. I think he can play for Scotland, but maybe one's thinking. But I think Nathan Patterson could be one.
Yeah. Listen, the more the merrier, Roughie. If anybody's got a Scottish granny, we need to pounce on them.
Yeah, I think he's doing his job.
We'll leave that to Roughie.
Get your wee black book, Roughie.
Remember now, Granny's the same age as me. No, I think he'd be doing his job if he wasn't. Managers will be saying, "Look, I've got a boy here. You need to have a look at. He's got the credentials to play for Scotland. He's got to look at everybody." But as I said, particularly up front. Up front's a disaster area for us, and even the boy Dykes. I think he scored 5 goals and 4 of them have been penalties. We really need. I know, but he scored 5 goals, but they've all been penalties. So no, and Lee Griffiths we're all hoping Lee Griffiths was going to come to the fore, and he's not done it either. And the manager must be pulling his hair out, thinking because once you get the big noises, the big finals, if you've not got a recognised striker, you're going to be struggling. Big strikers win you games, and when it's nothing each, they get the goal, they nick it when you need it, and we've not got that at all.
Yeah, is Turnbull got a chance, Tam?
Yeah, I think he's got a great chance, Peter. I think you'll definitely have a look at him when the friendly's coming up. Difficult to break into that midfield because we all know that's the strongest part of your team, apart from the left back. Centre midfield is the strongest part of your team. Got some top players in there playing well. Stuart Armstrong down the road at Southampton's playing exceptionally well. So I think it'll be difficult, but I think he'll get a wee chance in the friendlies, Peter, and it's up to him to take it.
Yeah, absolutely. Although the great news, Charlie, and this is obviously something we're all looking forward to, can you imagine they decide to host all the Euros on UK soil. That would allow us to get the mystery machine
London.
out there with everybody in the background covering all the games. Chaz.
Oh, it'd be amazing. What a road trip that would be. We need a couple of suitcases, big van, and we'll be there, won't we?
Well, we've got the big van.
Couple of crates of tenants.
Ruffy's got the suitcases, and the other thing, Ruffy, which is the key to this, is you can't be working for 42 different organisations, because we wouldn't know what your rota is then, and it'd be very difficult to get someone in who's taking jobs elsewhere, Ruffy, wouldn't it?
Yeah, this is when you look for a bit. This is when you look for a bit of loyalty.
Wait, you're trying to find a way to bin me already.
No, we're not. We don't need to. The mere fact you did that with a badge, somebody did that before. Look what happened, Roughie.
He's gone.
Where's the number 6 now? Anyway, apart from anything else, no, Tam, we're not ditching you at all, son. Absolutely, that would be fantastic, Charlie, wouldn't it? The Euros with games Wembley, Hampden. They're talking about Cardiff, Dublin, and Belfast.
It's unbelievable. We've been in a bad situation for over a year now, and we're thinking, right, we'll just be delighted to get to one game, or we're going to go there. And all of a sudden, we've been told that there's a possibility it might be held in the UK. It could be unbelievable. And if we can get an opportunity, I think just getting an opportunity to go to a stadium and seeing Scotland play would be phenomenal. So I just hope that the vaccine can get out there and we can allow supporters in, and we can get a good tournament, and Scotland can do well.
Yeah, absolutely. Really looking forward to that. Of course, the Kenny Whitson's just come up with a very good point, Roughie. Roughie could bring the tins of Tennent's with the models on them, because, there's more than a few people, Roughie, have been sending us photographs of you.
There, Roughie.
There was only...
You being held up with models.
You married one, didn't you?
I married a Tennent's can girl. Yeah, Michelle.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was on the Tennent's cans, yeah. That was before I met another 5. Before I met her, but I mean, she was the end product.
Yeah, you're going to try different beers to see your favourite.
He's on the pigment though, isn't he? He's on the gin now, so he's all right.
The big man, eh? He's just unbelievable and incorrigible when it comes to things like that. But nevertheless, it's nice of you to give your ex-wife a mention on the programme, Roughie. That's fantastic. Just no worries, still pals. Anyway, apart from anything else, Colin Berwick has just posted, what about Senga? Yep, the search goes on for Senga, Roughie's first love. We don't know whether we're going to have to get a Ouija board out, or she's not replying to our call. The search for Senga continues. Anyway, apart from anything else, football. I've actually, Charlie, watched a couple of English games that I really wish I hadn't watched. Man United Chelsea was just dire. There's been a few that have just kind of verged on what was happening 10 months ago, ranked rotten. But Man City never disappoint. They were magnificent against Wolves last night.
Nah, they don't, do they? They're, at the moment, Man United just seem to be setting up not to lose these games, which is not like them. As a club, they'd go and normally attack these other top 4 teams, but they didn't want to lose that game. And Man City have set the bar for everybody again to catch them, and 20 odd games in a row now it's phenomenal. And there's nobody stopping them in the league, and it's between them and Munich, I think, for the Champions League. So it's going to be historic whatever happens, because the way they play and adapt every season to the disappointment losing the league last year to Liverpool, to then bouncing back with 1 or 2 signings, to then absolutely dominating the English game again in a different way. It's just brilliant to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody's chipping in with the goals. Tam, it's been phenomenal. I just wonder how many pieces of silverware they'll have by the end of the season.
Well, we've got the league tied up here, haven't we? As Charlie says, I think it's suited them and Bayern for the Champions League. There's also the FA Cup down there, so it depends how strong a team they put out. But no, I think they could win 3 or 4 trophies, no doubt about it. I think they're the best team in Europe at the minute. I really do. Yeah. I think they're wonderful to watch, and the best manager in the world as well for me.
Here's what the fixtures are telling us about tonight and tomorrow, and whether you're going to watch them or not. Sheffield United against Aston Villa, Burnley, Leicester, Crystal Palace, Manchester United, and then tomorrow West Brom, Everton, and Liverpool against Chelsea, Roughie. Which one of those matches will catch your eye, Roughie, or is it another cookery programme?
No, I think it's going to be. No, I don't like these cookery programmes that are on the now. No, I think it's going to be Liverpool-Chelsea. No, Chelsea are on a wee bit of run now. Big game for Liverpool. You know, Chelsea, Everton are all got a bit of momentum. They're jumping each other in that league, and it'd be absolutely amazing if Liverpool, you know, win the cup one year and don't get in it the next year. It'd be just no worth thinking about. But these teams will all be going for it. You know, the games that are left, and I think this one's going to be a cracker.
Yeah, and of course, in the true fashion of Scottish slang, it's I think it's Lachlan Gold says Chelsea will pump Liverpool. Well, that remains to be seen whether that we just can't get off this Tennent's Lager theme. That remains to be seen whether they will or not. But certainly, I hope Liverpool win, because it would be great if Liverpool could win tomorrow, Tam, because it's the birthday of one of the greatest ever players ever to wear a red shirt, one of the top Celtic players of all time, and one of my heroes as a boy, a Scotland legend. It's Kenny's birthday tomorrow.
Wow, no, as you said, Kenny Dalglish is an absolute legend. He's obviously before my time, but I know you love him. I know Roughie loves him. But no, it'd be great for him for a wee birthday present. But it's a huge game for Liverpool. I think they've got to win it. You know, you look at West Ham and Everton in there, Leicester. You know, they've got a fight in their hands to get into that top four. So I think that's a game they've got to win. And they've been dreadful at home, haven't they? I don't think they've scored a goal at home the last 3 games. So it's a big test for them, particularly at Anfield, where they've been really poor lately.
Yeah, absolutely. Roughie, I mean, it's incredible, but it's great when he's still alive. Alex Ferguson had the honour as well. Sir Alex Ferguson, there's a stand named after him. Kenny's got his own stand there as well. It's only a matter of time before we get the Alan Rough stand at Thistle. I know you've got a suite at the moment.
Yeah, no, I don't think that there are other more important things than me. I'll just go for the statue. But you know, you're right. It is Kenny's birthday tomorrow. And actually, I don't know if you see, I put a painting up. I don't know if you can see. I'll see if I can bring it over. Yeah. Since it's his birthday.
Oh, that's magnificent! Look at the two of you. That is
just keep that there.
Yeah.
There you are.
That was just before we beat England 2-1.
Brilliant. I mean, that's fantastic. And to be fair, Roughie, he was
a proper legend, big Roughie.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, a lot of people who watch this programme, Roughie, don't realise how good a goalkeeper you were in your at your absolute peak. You were top drawer, which is good. Although I have to say, Charlie, I actually would pay a substantial amount of money to get the picture of that statue when it's eventually unveiled and erected outside Firhill.
Oh, it's like the Ronaldo one. The Ronaldo one. It's horrendous. Outside the airport.
Yeah, absolutely. Just one of those statues you can hang your coat on it.
Yeah, obviously, I've never seen you playing that. So, what type of goalkeeper would you be compared to like nowadays? Would you be like? Obviously, you're not you're not flimsy. You're not flimsy in that, are you? What kind of goalie are you? You're like,
oh, yeah, probably
a proper goalkeeper.
Proper shot stopper, but I would. The thing I kind of get out. I know the balls are lighter now, Charlie, but I can't understand. I mean, I saw a goalkeeper catching a ball the other day there, which was, you know, you don't see it very often. They tend to just palm it away. But I think in our day, you try to hold on to things, because if you don't hold on to it, you're just getting the opposition another chance at the goal. But no, I would say shot stopper, because we had a lot of good centre-halves in front of you, and that made things a lot easier.
Yeah, I mean, Charlie, you should look up some of his saves. They're fantastic. Whatever you do,
no, I won't.
Don't look up Andy Ritchie, Morton.
It's just when I was you were talking about crosses. Obviously, weren't a big thing, you know, because you've got strengths and weaknesses. It's not your strongest point. And I remember we were playing England at Hampden, and there was about 5 minutes to go, and a ball came into the box. And I came out for it, and I totally and utterly mistimed it. but never mistimed it that much that I caught it with one hand, and everybody thought I meant it, which I didn't. Absolutely. If I hadn't caught it with one hand, it was in the back of the net.
Did you wear gloves in that in the days, Pete? Roughie,
No,
did you wear gloves
never wore
that?
gloves
No,
either till 19.
No, is that how your fingers are mangled, Roughie?
Well, it must have had something to do with with the training and everything, but no, that's another thing. I'd love to see the goalkeepers now wearing their big gloves, see how they get on with it.
I mean, it's a good point you make. I mean, although if you had the operation on your tendons in your hand, Roughie, it would certainly rectify it, but I don't think you want to miss too many tennis games. Is that fair?
No, the tennis is the most important thing now, and it's as the guys will know. Well, Tam's no taking. I don't know if Charlie plays. We had a doubles match arranged, but it never appeared a challenge.
We can't go anywhere, can we yet?
No.
Well, that happened as well. And his partner
I sent my tennis racket back. I bought a cracker for 20 quid off Amazon. Sent it back. Barry left.
Yeah. His partner decided to jump, and the doubles partnership was gone. But nevertheless, tomorrow we'll do a tribute to Kenny Dalglish because, yep, you're absolutely right. He's, I have two heroes in the footballing world when I was growing up as a boy. Kenny Dalglish, the other one was Danny McGrain. But it was absolutely unbelievable. I think 70 tomorrow. I think he'll be 70, Roughie. Yeah. So,
yes, I told you, didn't I? I got a call off him the other week. He was just at the blue. It was brilliant, just hearing that voice at the end of the phone. It's just.
He signed you for Liverpool, didn't he, Charlie?
He signed me, yeah. It's just, I had a missed call after training one day and I missed it, and he left me a voicemail, so I phoned him back, and just to hear that voice and somebody like that taking time out to call you, do you know what I mean? Just shows you what a special guy he was, and just great times and a great manager, and I could still see him now in the shooting drills after training, taking shots at the edge of the box into Pepe Reina, and just loving it, having a laugh and a joke. He was a great character.
Yeah, absolutely. And over and above that, when you think about it, I think he left Celtic when he was 27. He'd given them 9 years of when he eventually broke into the side, real genius at work, and then eventually replaced Kevin Keegan. And lots of Copites were wondering whether he was as good as Kevin Keegan. It only took him a game to realise that he'd actually got a better player. He was absolutely sensational. Kenny, we'll do a wee tribute to him tomorrow. The Rangers team has just come out for the match against Livingston. McGregor, Patterson, Goldson, Helander, Barisic, Kamara, Davis, Arfield, Aribo, Kent and Morelos, which backs up your point with Tavernier out of the equation, Charlie. Patterson's got a real chance to just get himself some really good experience this season. And of course, maybe, I don't know if he's got enough games left to rack up to get a medal.
No, maybe not. But what I said in the show, but the problem he had when he went, that obviously got caught in that situation, was that I never thought his Rangers career was over. I just felt this time where Tavernier got injured on that game before, and he obviously, this would have been his opportunity, the natural next right back at the club. So he had to miss a game or two, and then now he got the opportunity the other day in Europe, scored a goal, and the managers reward him with a start. So if he can rack up another 5-6 appearances now to the end of the season, or now it allows Tavernier to take as long as he can to recover from this knee, then fair play to the kid. But he needs to get in now and put in the consistent performances and stay in this Rangers team and make it hard for the managers to drop him. So, it's good to see, and hopefully he can do well.
And forgive me for being sentimental on this, Tam, but for me it will be really nice to see Jermaine Defoe get a Premier League medal, because I think when you look at somebody who's been a tremendous ambassador for football, a great footballer, certainly I think the pinnacle of his career was performing in a Tottenham Hotspur shirt, but he's come back, he's come into Scottish football. Obviously his friendship with Steven Gerrard played a major part. And he's contributed, he's scored goals, and the amount of, I think, players who will benefit from him and his experience in the training sessions for the young kids will just be, you couldn't put a price on it, Tam.
No, I think he's been a brilliant signing for Rangers. I really do. On and off the pitch, he's a brilliant professional. first and foremost. A player I grew up watching, you know, in England, banging goals in for West Ham and Spurs and for England. You know, he's a top player, and for Gerrard to get him up here was a massive coup. And I think that you look now, Rangers have got plenty of options up front. They signed a couple of strikers. You know, they weren't as reliant on Morelos and Defoe as they have been. So he's maybe not as much game time. But I think for a player like that to get a winners' medal, a league winners' medal, I think is fitting. I think for the career he's had, so I think it'll be brilliant for him. And Steven Gerrard as well, never won a league title, you know, and he's probably going to get one as well.
Yeah, nice. Have you played? You would have played against Defoe to some stage, Charlie.
Oh yeah, he scored a few goals against me as well, and you know, what a finisher he is. You know, I just speak to the lads, you know, that I played with him at Crouchy and that. I played at England, played Tottenham together with him. He's just selfish hunger to score goals is just phenomenal. And I think, like Tam said, he's been a brilliant signing. What I'm hearing in the dressing room, top professional, leads his life immaculately. And the lads, not just first team lads. I think Morelos has benefited from, but also speaking to coaches in the youth department as well. You know, he's been going around there and helping the younger kids as well develop, and so that's been brilliant for the whole football club. So when you've got people like that, top professionals in your club, you can only benefit from that. And I think the manager has. You know, last couple of seasons to rely on him. This season probably not as much, but you know, being such a good professional around the place and helping others, you know, he's refocused people and helped them in other ways.
Yeah, Andy Grant puts a good question to us on our Facebook feed. He says, how many games do you need to receive a medal? I thought it was maybe 10 or 12. Is it 10?
10 appearances.
Yeah.
I thought it was 12.
Yeah, I thought it was around about 10 or 12, but 10 is good, gets you a medal, and you know, something you can cherish for the rest of your life. Not many people. How many Premier League medals have you got, Charlie?
None.
How many? I think you said
None.
one there,
Never
Tam.
got one. None.
No?
None. I never got.
Wow.
No. Never made enough appearances. Every season Rangers won the league, I was on loan.
Talk about you. You're on the bench. You're on the bench for the UEFA Cup final.
Just parties.
Right. I was at a few of them. I managed to get to a few winning parties and that. Nah, they were good, but nah, I never had enough.
John Terry, he's Phil kit on.
Yeah.
My brother got a medal for being part of the squad. He's got more medals at winning leagues than me than I have. So, but
did you not get something for Blackpool?
Oh yeah, like getting promoted for. I thought you meant at Rangers.
No, I did mean at Rangers initially, but
no, yeah, I obviously got a medal for getting promoted, and then the Carling Cup, winning the league, the championship with St Mirren, and the Bells Cup as well. So yeah, 3 or 4 medals. Yeah. No,
absolutely, always good, Chaz, always good.
Yeah.
Love to hear about the careers you guys have had and some of the great games that you've played in as well. And of course, we're all keeping our fingers crossed that over the course of the next few months, we'll get the white flag up there and everybody will be able to get out and also, get together and, get in the studio here and have a good laugh. We're certainly looking forward to that. Thanks to the countless people who have given us lots of great messages. Tomorrow on the programme, we'll hear from Stephen Gerrard, David Martindale after the game tonight. And we'll also discuss the implications of the League One and League Two, if they have indeed come to a decision or not. We'll also look back over Hamilton against St Johnstone. Quite a few people said, Charlie, you never gave us your prediction for Hamilton against St Johnstone. What do you think?
I'm going to go for Hamilton 1-0.
Yeah, okay, there you are. You've got it. Thanks to Tam, to Charlie, to Roughie. Don't forget to hit the follow button, or indeed you can subscribe on our YouTube channel. And if you get a chance, get on the Facebook page. There's a chance to win an Xbox, a Diego Maradona canvas, and an iPad. It's all in one. It's the PLZ hat-trick competition, and you could pick yourself up some nice wee goodies by following the instructions on the quiz for that. Good luck with that. Thank you very much to each and every one of you for watching. Good night.
Expect